all-wheel drive 3 out of the box build. Box cutter. I wouldn't cut into the box because you never know. You just don't want to cut any product or tires, or don't do it at first, but so you can see in the box, see what you're cutting, and you can get in there. Woo. You actually will want to keep some of this foam lying around. That's how we're gonna flip the bike upside down. This is a good piece to do that with. Looks like the back rack. I'll keep this on for now. You just want to cut away from the bike at you like that, so you don't risk any scratches or anything. Looks like we got a headlight here. I'm gonna free the handlebars here so I can access some of the other stuff underneath. We got some keys here. Put those in our pocket for now. Got a box of something. Don't cut away this backside yet, because the way it is right now, it's actually holding the bike up. We're gonna have to get around to the other side just in a couple minutes, but at least we can get most of this stuff off and out of here. Got the tire in here. I'm actually just gonna be really careful and cut it and pull it. So it's a little tricky to get out, but we're gonna lean the bike forward. Pull this thing out really carefully. All right, looks like the rear fender is actually shipped on already, which is cool. You got the front fender on top of it. You want to be super careful not to scratch the paint when you're cutting this one. There you go. Hopefully that frees it. Yeah. Okay. Got some pedals, some hardware, a little baby wrench. Looks like some touch-up paint, an extra zip tie, got some pegs here. Cool. Some Allens, some more wrenches, screwdriver, both flat and Phillip. All right. You get the charger. This is called an OSHA cable, and then your standard inlet there. So in order to get the battery out, we've got to unlock it. It's one of these longer keys on the bunch. We got 2 sets of keys. One of them, I believe, is for the front lock. This is for the battery lock, and like that. All right, right out like that. Okay, since the battery is going to take quite a while to charge, we're going to go ahead and do that right now. Get it going. I'm going to put the handlebars on first before the wheel. That way we'll be able to flip the bike upside down to properly get the wheel on. Since we don't have anything to suspend the bike in the air, it makes it a little bit easier. You got to take all 4 of these off. Looks like the handlebars are just going to sit in here. Bring up the handlebars. I'm going to look at the top tubes on the frame as a reference for a general handlebar angle, but we can make those adjustments later. All right, now we're going to start to tighten with this Allen again. The best practice for anything like this is starting at one corner. Don't tighten all the way, because what will happen is, what we want is a nice even compression onto the handlebar. You don't want to have one corner that's way too tight. If you do that, the handlebars will come loose. Use this side of the Allen first. First, it's a lot easier, and you don't need that much torque. You get to a point it becomes difficult to tighten them that way again, and then looks like we're going to be ready for what we'll want to do here with this too is just do the same exact amount of cranks. So we're going to do like 1/2 rotation. pretty good. All right, cool. So I'll get the handlebars on now. I'm just gonna grab here and use my knee like this. All right, cool, let's get the wheel going. We got this piece that just shipped with just to protect the dropout. That's what this is called, it's a dropout. Caliper side. And this is normal for it to move back and forth. The wheel is gonna lock it in there in the axle, just like how this works actually. And in the caliper there, this is just so if in shipment the brake levers get pulled or moved around a little bit, those brake pads aren't getting squished together and whatnot. Be careful when you remove this not to get your fingers in the brake pads, because the oils on your skin, it contaminates the brake pads in some way. I'm not a brake pad specialist, but I've been told forever to never touch those things. So there you go. It's perfectly spaced now for the rotor too. All right, so you got a couple things important to take a look at. So you've got a washer that has sort of a lock in it, or a notch, and that's actually gonna go right here on the inside. So mount that up. You want that to be up as opposed to being down in this dropout. All right, so what we'll do is, or a notch, and that's actually gonna go right here. Mount that up. Get on the other one too. You want that to be up as opposed to being down in this dropout. This is the motor power here. We want to make sure that that's, in this case, up. When the bike's standing upright, it's on the bottom, but since the bike's upside down right now, it's on the top. We're gonna put this guy in there. So we got that locking washer in place here, and you just want to be careful. Make sure that rotor is lined up nice. I'm just gonna like pull this out just ever so slightly. And that should slide down in there. We'll get this guy on now. We'll attach the power to the motor here. It's super easy. There's just, you'll see arrows right here and right there. Bam, and then just tighten that guy up. There's a common mistake made with tightening these. People will often tighten them when the bike's upside down, but you should never do that, because this bike, especially because it's got suspension, see how when you push down, the alignment of the wheel is off. If you tighten it when it's like that, your wheel's not gonna be aligned. Just get a hand tighten, just enough so the wheel doesn't fall out when we flip it over again. So now, obviously, because the wheels, it's not tight, obviously, but you can see how much this has because of the suspension. See that? So we gotta be very careful when we're tightening. I'm gonna eye out kind of the distance between here and there. And then same thing as before when we tightened this part up here. Not gonna tighten one entirely. I'm gonna go back and forth as we get tighter. So I can make sure that they're both evenly tightened down. I'm gonna put that front fender on as well as the headlight. Next, what should we do first? Do the fender just because we'll have more room to see what we're doing. The wheel lock system is slightly in the way. You want to get the Phillips head out. We're just going to take the wheel lock off temporarily so we can access this part of the bike. I'm just going to take these Phillips head screws right here, and I'll go ahead and put this right in my pocket right here because I don't want to lose it. Using the back of the Phillips head here to get that off. And then, cool. So now we got this guy, fender. The longer side is for the under the frame part, and this front part or the shorter part rather, is for the front end. So I think if you just put it on top of the tire like that, and then slide it back, lift it up. Want to make sure to keep our washer in the back end like that. Cool. And if you got a pair of pliers lying around, it's going to make this part a little easier. That being said, it's totally doable without. Just easy to, you know, hold onto this nut. I'm going to get the Allen on the back side. I'm going to start turning this thing just like that. But the nice thing about this is you can adjust the fender height. I think I'm actually, it looks to your preference, I think I'm actually just gonna keep it all the way down for now. You wanna get this nice and snug. Otherwise, you're probably gonna get some vibrations. Just remember that sound though. So if you do end up hearing it when you're riding, wouldn't panic. It's likely just that. This wheel lock back installed here. Headlight's pretty straightforward. Crescent wrench, pair of pliers. Just gonna wanna loosen this. What you're gonna wanna do is pinch these in to get in between there. It's a nice little fit right there too. Okay, cool. To get in between there. It's a nice little fit right there too. Okay, cool. I'm gonna put bolt back in there. Might need to give it a little bit of help getting through. I'm gonna get those on as good as I can with my fingers. Careful. There's a lot of painted areas that you don't want to rough up with doing this. So just take your time. Be careful. Doesn't take too much to tighten it down. There we go. Cool. Headlights on. We got another cable here, and the other end of it right here. Same as before, you look for those arrows. This one doesn't have a twist lock, but there she goes. All right, back rack. Grab an Allen. These are actually threaded. These inserts here are threaded, so there's no nut. I'm gonna do this one too. We got a nut in there. So what we're gonna do is grab our wrench. Gonna hold on to it. Got the tail light in there. Cool, let that hang for a sec. Just gonna line up, get this guy back in there. Side one's back on too. See that, like, cool, like right there. And then underneath again, we're gonna take this washer and this lock nut and throw it on. Let's see how this works now. There's little loops, see this here, 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 and here. That's for the electric on the taillight. Sits there like that. And this guy's got a locking washer kind of situation going on here. It's the crinkle cut one, see? This is important because these are not locking nuts. Just a straight nut. These washers act as the locking mechanism. These are pretty easy to hand tighten. There we go, it's the 8 again. Let's take a look at this back fender here. It actually looks good, but if you do need to adjust it, got here, here, and here. Throw these pegs on. Take the size 10 wrench and Allen and just take them completely off. Yeah, so you can just take one of these guys, put the nut, put the bolt through the washer on there on both sides. Throw that on there and then cool. Pedals aren't interchangeable because of the threading. And sometimes there's stickers or something like that differentiating the two of them, but on these, it's I guess it's like branded inside here, but it can be definitely a little bit tricky to see. Left, right. Could be different, but there's gonna be an indication on which is the left and which is the right. And obviously, this is the left, it's gonna be on the other side. It's the right, it's gonna be on this side. So on the pedal, it's little flat sides here. That's for the wrench. Nice. It's in. All right. We're almost done. We're gonna just check out some of this. These components up here, and notice right away that this is loose. Getting an Allen key right in here. All of this stuff is actually tight. You can tighten it and adjust it with Allens here, but everything else is sturdy. We gotta get some air in these tires. As far as the pump goes, I've got an electric pump, but you can use any standard pump. It's just a normal valve. Check that out. When the battery's done charging, it should still be in the off position. And we're gonna keep that just like that until we get it on the bike. There's clearly a track that this thing is going on. See? So you just wanna look underneath, make sure that you're aligned. Start pushing it. I'm gonna lock it with the key. And turn the battery on. Should hear that sound. And let's check out what we got going on up here. So we should get power now. Oh, there we go. Headlight came on already. It's the headlight switch. See that? Headlight switch will always turn the headlight on. But what's cool is this plus button here. If you press it and hold it down, you're gonna get an illuminated screen, as well as daytime running light or a low beam. On top of that, when we hit this switch, we're getting the full headlight here. Additionally, when this is engaged, you're gonna get a tail light. And then brake on top of the taillight. If you turn the taillight off, no lights, you still get a brake light. And you got turn signals here. Those are always going to work. Furthermore, this taillight and the battery light, they act the same. So if you didn't have this back rack or this light on here, you're still going to get brake lights. However, the blinker only works on the top light. So if you take this off, you're going to lose your blinkers, just to let you know. Brake lights stay, blinkers, they go. As far as the build goes, that's pretty much it. There it is, all-wheel drive 3.